Welcome to the Advanced Rappelz Tournament Guide. This will be going over everything you could and will do after Reborn 20. I've done a few of these in some of the advanced class guides, but some of them asking for just a dedicated advanced guide. So here it is. First, we're going to go over some of the things that we didn't do in the beginner's guide, which is more the end game content. So for one of them is Battlefield of the Ancients, Abyss Hard Mode, Ursa 195. Those have pretty much the same drops, they're just slightly different for the mob types. Abyss Hard Mode is mostly going to be in Lost Mines, if you remember this dungeon. This will primarily have Abominations and Primal Screams. These are also in Deathmatch. If you go to this one, it is in this Deathmatch with the 5 Guardians for the Meet Me at Deathmatch quest. This is a slightly different one. This one is for leveling with White Dragons, and also sometimes there is the Treant for the boss quest. So primarily what these are for the blessed power of changes. So let's go back to one of the teleporters. So Battlefield of the Ancients is my primary farm spot for blessed power of change, dark cubes, which are for upgrading your sand dragon cloak, your black dragon and white dragon cloaks. You need dark cubes for that. There's also Book of Seven Seals, which is this little icon, or in this area. This one resets gear. So if you, for instance, roll something really bad on Dragon gear, or on your Guardian gear, which I will go over in the Goldspin section, you can reset it with a Book of Seven Seals. This usually costs 1 T gold from players, or 10 T gold from the NPC. That's why when you see me in chat say, Nusi gear is not worth using Book of Seven Seals, that is why. So, at Battlefield of the Ancients, you can expect, if you're using a koala belt set with some extra luck, literally the stat luck, to get about 20 to 25 per hour of Book of Seven Seals. 2 other items of note are Dark Souls and Sealed Souls. So, Dark Souls are for your pet rings. That is what levels them up to 7%. I don't have one on this character, but I do have it on the Templar. This might be a pending change. These might get buffed a little bit, just so that it's actually worth leveling. But that is where you get the Dark Souls to level them up at NPC Maya, which I will go show. So you would come here. Do note, there are 2 different pet rings. There is the Reborn token pet ring, which is this one, and there's the Goldspin pet ring. This one's the Reborn pet ring. This one's the Goldspin pet ring. You can see G-spin means Goldspin. This one is Reborn bound. So when you go to upgrade Fury Pet's ring, you have Fury Pet Ring, Hammered Fury Pet Ring, Bound Fury Pet Ring, Bound Hammered Fury Pet Ring. So the Lightning Bolt means they're hammered. This one means it's not hammered. So remember, if you see green arrows, not hammered. If you see a Lightning Bolt, it is hammered. So you would have to select, for this one, Hammered Fury Pet Ring. That would upgrade this one to 7%. This may be changed for the upgrade to be much higher, so it's actually worth it, but that is for later. That is not something that is happening soon. Other things to consider. Ursa 195 you can access at this little horse chest piece. You would go to here. So let's go there. These mobs in Ursa are slightly easier than Battlefield of the Ancients and Hard Mode Abyss. You would just go here, create a room, start. It'll count down. These mobs do not do dots, which is that ticking damage for 200, 300, 400k, and your pets are safe here. In Battlefield of the Ancients and Hard Mode Abyss, it's not as safe because the dots from the mobs are AoE, so they'll hit everything, not just the pets, or not just you, it'll hit your pets. So for classes that kind of just don't have enough pet healing, they will die very fast. So you will be repairing them. Quite common. So you can see more Beepox. I don't like this one as much because the respawn, so you'd have to run around this entire map over and over and over, which some people, it is easier. This is also how you can get koalas if you don't want to go tame snowmen in Realms of the Ancients, or whatever the Roa is. So say you failed, or whatever. And you get a movement speed decrease for a minute. Ooh. So, Remains of the Ancients, yeah. This is where you can tame snowmen, which has the same effect on the belt, which is increased luck. So, yeah. That's how you farm Blessed Power of Changes. This portion will be for Treasury, which is advanced Beepox. So you'll see there's two different colors for Beepox. There's this red one, and then there's this purple one. Purple is for armor. Pink / red is for weapons. Weapons drop from Treasury, which you have to be level 205 and above, and I pretty much will only recommend you go to Treasury once you have a Guardian set. If you do not have a Guardian set, this is gonna be a bad time. Especially if you aren't Templar or Overlord, as those can somewhat tank it with their healing, since Overlord can hang it with the pets, you know, especially with Gold LL and Ethereal Pixie, and Templar is pretty much self-sufficient. So we will go not to this part. So if you stay here, this is pretty much like Battlefield of the Ancients, Hard Mode Abyss. These mobs do the same things. This is not what we want. We want to keep going further in. Let's pop this real quick. So you'll notice these are slightly different than the mobs were in some of my other videos for this. These have been buffed a little bit and doubled in spawn, so there's a lot more. So that way we can actually have multiple people farm at the spot now. Let me just do a return so I can have my pets so I don't get nuked. Because that will be a bad time if I die while doing this hilariously. So let's go back. Okay, do Vitality one real quick. So I'll give some, just to show you some of the gear. For the 190 and 200 weapons, you will have a few different variants. It is the Grand weapons and the Doom weapons. This does matter because 190 and 200 are split into two different kind of spins. One you can use with a single spec and the other one you can't. So, for instance, if you're a War Kahuna and it doesn't work, so if you tried rolling for a Grand thing here, let me just do a heal, and the War Kahuna, for, you know, just an example, doesn't work, the Magus one will. If you're trying to roll for Oracle buffs, for the Blessing of Int, Blessing of Vitality, and it fails, it doesn't work, you can roll with the Cardinal. You'll see that it says it didn't work. Please try something else. So keep that in mind. That is only for the blue and the purples. It does not apply to the legendary, which is for level 215, or the mythics, which is 225. This is also where you can farm the blue and the purple boss crystals. Expect maybe like 3 at most an hour. You can get a little more if you're like sometimes just RNG, you'll get like 5 sometimes, but expect like 2 to 3 boss crystals. It's not that much. And you can also get Book of 7 seals here. Sometimes you can get Dark Souls, but not really as much. This is where you primarily get Sealed Souls, which is for summoning the Primal Scream at Horizon Field to get the Reaper achievement. This is the primary source of that, as well as BOA. I just get a lot more here because I've been farming here for almost 2 months now, trying to get a weapon, and I've just been unlucky. So, yay. Expect when you're trying to farm mythic stuff for it to take quite a while, because you're supposed to, you're trying to roll for the skill and the stats. So that might be getting changed again. Like again, there's some things that I've been trying to see if we can get re-rollable treasury weapons for at least the 225 stuff, because they are a royal pain in the ass to get. So you can also see we're getting hammered Nucilite gear. This is also where you get it, besides BOA, but I also explain that in the beginner's guide, that hammered Nucilite and stuff comes from Battlefield of the Ancients. It is doable before Reborn 20. This one is not. You have to be Reborn 20 or higher. I just going to recommend just wait until you're Reborn 30, because you're not going to really use it as much. I mean, you can come here before then, just it's going to be slow. You'll have the dots, have a lot of healing ready. You should be good. There's also 3 different tiers for treasury stuff. So let's go back into town. So there is tier 3, tier 2, and tier 1. Let me see if I kept some of the stuff in the warehouse. I don't know if I did. So you'll see mythical first. That means this is a tier 1 weapon. This has a special icon. This is tier 3. It says third. It looks like a normal shield. This is also like most of these. So this is a one-hand staff and this is a one-hand staff. If you want to see, like, this is a visual difference. Tier 1 looks really special. This one just looks like a normal staff. So when you notice the drops, you'll probably see something really special. That means you got a tier 1 weapon. This has a much higher chance of rolling skills, and it's not 100%. It should be 100% for the tier 1s. That's going to get fixed. So you're looking for this for endgame, getting a tier 1 weapon of your choice, whatever your class fits. Two-handed weapons aren't really used as much right now. It's also on the list to get changed to buff them, so you have more options. It's always good to have options, so that'll get changed. So two-handed weapons will be making a comeback eventually. So that's just the different tiers. So legendary and mythical, you don't have to worry about the BPOC issue. It'll work all the time, every time. So if you're trying to make buff slaves and stuff, that's what you have to consider. Besides that, it's good. Okay, this will be going over your daily quests after Reborn 20. You can still do the pet trader ones. I'm gonna mostly push for you can stop doing these, except maybe Dark Dragon. Keep doing Dark Dragon and doing the deathmatch one. Besides that, leave the easier ones for the newer players. It's just more efficient for you to farm Volk for the most part. If you can get it under about 2 minutes, you should be much more efficient than doing the bosses. There's this one, which remember, you should always be grabbing daily the boss. This is for Vulcanus specifically. But sometimes you'll find some in this one. We'll see if they're up or not. So one of them spawns here, it is not up. And the other one spawns over here if they are up. They are both not up. So sometimes those trees spawn here, the guardian little tree stumps for that quest. Those are the 2 spots for it. But it's mostly going to be Volk. There is the Abbey for repeat quest, which is the hunting challenge. It is Eyes of Punishment in Abbey 4. So we'll go Abbey 4. This one's pretty straightforward. As you can see, there are some people here making their own little corners. And these are the Eyes of Punishment. So most of these spots are taken up. Got quite a few people here. So you just sit in one of these. This can take about 10 to 15 minutes actively farming. If you're AFK Templar farming here, it's going to take you a while. So this is one of the primary ways you can make T gold while leveling. I like coming here for just normal farming on Templar, or while you're leveling, going up to Reborn 30 when CV is taken. Just come to one of these spots. It's not as good as CV, but you're making T gold, so it's that balance of you're making T gold and you're leveling at the same time. So it's mostly fine. It's just one way to do it. You can always just wait for CV and do Volk purely. But this is just an alternative for that. While you're leveling, you can do both at the same time. There's always Catan events on Thursdays, if we have someone available to do it. There is the deathmatch quest like I showed with the Triads. And then there's Volk. Let's go back to town and show you Volk. This one is fairly simple. It is tuned for Reborn 20 and up. So don't expect to be able to do this if you're new, you're just looking at this guide. This is designed for Reborn 20 and higher. So you would come here, make sure to taunt, let them hit you, then attack. Your AoEs do not trigger the Luna chip, so if you attack too early, it'll kind of mess it up. So you have to let them all hit you first, then use your AoE, whatever class you're playing, whether it be VM, Templar, Beastmaster. I'm just using the Overlord right now. So keep in mind that sometimes they get stuck behind these little pillars. And see, I did it too early, so this one didn't get hit, so it didn't die with the other ones. And you would go to Volk Room. He summons this. This is why you want to use a stun on him so he doesn't summon the abominations. Because that can mess up a run. If you're trying to do quick runs and then now that you're slowed permanently, it'll spawn a Guardian after you kill Vulcanus. You kill the Guardian. Voila, there's your Tsilver. If you can, I would suggest using koala belts. They can impact the lava box drops, which I will go over once we go to Hector. This is where you farm lava Deco gear and lava wings. So this is like that 2 type of things you're going to be farming. You're farming T-Gold here and lava boxes and lava gear. So this is another end game farm you can do. I advise switching between leveling and doing this so you don't, just get, so see, you get, sometimes it bugs out if you taunt in the wrong spot. So yeah, like I was saying, you can split up leveling, grinding T-Gold, going back and forth so you don't get burned out. Kind of just make sure you enjoy yourself. Games are supposed to be fun, so don't just grind, and then just you don't enjoy it anymore. pace yourself. It is okay to take your time. One thing at a time. Sometimes for Volk, it'll spawn 2 mobs, 2 guardians, or 3 guardians at the end. That is what's called the double spawn. So you can only see the treant at a double spawn. You cannot see it in a single spawn. So just keep that in mind. And that is how you farm T-Gold on the server, for the most part. Like, this is the primary method besides doing the Abbey 4 replay quest. Besides that, it's coming to Catan events on Thursdays, and maybe selling stuff. Some people like selling stage 5 pets, or making +10 cards and selling them with various luck. You have to make sure you have someone buying it before you do it, because it takes quite a few hours just to combine the cards. This is the double spawn that I was talking about for Volk. This is Little Tree Dude. This is the other one. Sometimes it spawns in groups of 3 of them. It's usually just 2 with the tree, though. And there you go. Alright, so you'll have 2 options for Final Awakening here. Obviously, there is the normal Final Awakening. At this point, I would suggest waiting for Ares Awakening on your weapon. So you would go to the item shop trader. You would hit more, Ares Awaken token, yes. Then you would come here, Ares Awakening, Ares Final Awakening, choose weapon, sub-weapon, which is like your mage wall, armor, gloves, boots. Helm is going to be re-enabled eventually, hopefully. So we'll also see Helm here, and you'll also be able to get a skill on it. I would wait for your weapon specifically until you get one that is perfect, because you don't want to have to keep spending 50 T-Gold. It takes me about an hour to farm in Volk to get 50 T-Gold, but you're going to be slower. Like, you're not going to have full gear yet and everything. So just make sure you value your T-Gold. Don't just spend it on a random weapon that you're like, oh, this is good, and make sure it is absolutely what you want, because it's gonna suck. If you do a perfect roll, it gets the mythical, and then you get a better one like 2 days later, and then you don't get that. So make sure you spend it wisely. There is going to be a chart here, and I will show the different awakenings you can get for that. So we'll go here. So helmet, that'll be done later. 50 crit, which is nice. Max MP HP, which is good. Luck is good for drops. You can get like a full luck set and a full damage set if you want. It's a lot more you have to spend. Cast speed's good for Overlord and for Void Mage. Everything else, this one pretty much doesn't matter for gloves. Boots, you want the all stats. It is just, if you don't get this one, you cry a little bit. You can reset this stuff. So if you use a Book of 7 Seals on the Guardian armor, you can reset it and try again, but you will have to roll the skill again. So keep that in mind. You're probably going to be spending like 200 to 400 books per attempt. Main weapon. You can get either or. Templar wants both, but for Overlord, Void Mage, we just want the M attack. So this one, you can also, again, get luck. This will probably be helpful. And you cannot do the Yeshiva build at the moment. This will get fixed eventually. So it's kind of just that. You'll see the different ones here. The mythicals, yellow, blue, purple. So there's different ones with that. Just going over Ares Final Awakening. This will be going over the boss crystals. So this is blue one. This is purple. This is yellow. This is mythical. This is like that. It's also yellow, but it's slightly different hue. These are all the things you can get. Up to 4 per boss crystal. Just going over this. every class is going to be slightly different. Most of them are going to want crit power, so these three are the most used, but when you're brand new, having this isn't terrible. But yeah, it's mostly going to be rolling crit power and then getting additional stats on whatever one you want. And then for Reborn 20, this will be the goal of getting a Devil Reviac one. Pretty much, if you just get Devil Reviac, you're good. You can try for another one, but I've had 15, 20 crystals, and I have yet to get one. So, you're probably going to get one. If you're lucky, you'll get bonus skills that are really good, like Lilith, or one of the Hectors. If you get Hector Knowledge, Lilith, Reviac, that's your Void Mage, and Overlord one, you're good. And, you might be able to get, like, Lucius and stuff like that, but as long as you get Devil Reviac, you're pretty much done with that. That is, like, golden, and then if you get 2 or 3 other useful skills, that is the golden roll, and you'll never have to roll again for that spec. It's kind of just hope and hope. So these are drops from Treasury. This is drops from Gold Spin, which I will do shortly. This may be added to Treasury soon. We shall see how people feel about if we want this added to Treasury as a drop as well, and keep this one as the Gold Spin one. Maybe remove these two from the pool, just because they're so common as a drop. Or not really common, but they're easier to get as a drop. So, we'll see. But that is just going over the boss crystal section. Alright, this will be the Gold Spin section. So, you can see the G-Spin pool here. See all the different items you can get. This is why I recommend you save up to 500 T-Gold before spinning, because there's a lot of different options. And if you go spin to win, golden tokens, 11x, yes. I'm going to buy quite a few just to show that it's a lot. So we'll just go over quite a few rolls. We'll do 2,500 rolls. So this one, it automatically jumps you to the next one, so you'll see it in chat. If we win something good. Oh, went too far. Oh, again, went too far. So as you can see, this is why you want a lot, because this is going to be a lot of stuff that you're going through. Was that it? Was that all the rolls done? Might have been. Yep. So that was all the rolls for this one. So that's all this stuff. We did get a Yushi ring, which is nice. And an S5 pot, and I believe we got Guardian gloves somewhere. Yeah, right here. So we pretty much made the money back with just these two items. This is usually 2,000 T-Gold, this is 500. So we made it back. Not always that lucky. So you'll see there's two different Deco items. There's the cheerleader set, and then there's the lava set. So right now, the cheerleader set can roll up to 30 crit. Whereas the lava set is like 20 to 22. Usually it's less. You usually get like 11 to 16 to 17-ish. So that means if you have 4 cheerleader sets all around 28 to 30 crit power, that'll actually do more damage for most classes, with some exceptions. Like Templar really benefits from the 5% HP because it's max HP, which affects Righteous Purpose. And Void Mage can also maybe benefit from Crystal Aura. I haven't done as much testing on Void Mage, but I know this can offset that a little bit. But for the most part, you'll be better with a cheerleader set instead of a Lava Deco set, but you can only get this from Gold Spin. So, that was 2,500 T gold worth of gold spin tokens. You can see that we didn't get a complete Guardian set. We didn't even get a mythical crystal. So that's why usually when I say it's better to buy something you need now. So if you need a Guardian set, buy a Guardian set from someone for 2,000 T gold ish. Sometimes you can get a little discount, but it's usually about 2,000 T gold for a Guardian set. Buy it from them. Rolling is, again, you're gambling. You can just get a good Guardian set, or you can just get a bunch of cloaks and Yushi belts and dragon armors and stuff. So it's just the nature of RNG. So there's your little gold spin roll fun. Next section we'll be going over gold pets and such. So this is a brand new gold pet you would get from Goldspin. This one is the Liquid Lust. I already have one leveled up. This is the one I use. So the primary two abilities you get from getting it gold pet is Mythic Koala Unity, which does stack with its normal Unity, and Master Devotion. So, oh, this is just a little bugged. We'll do this one instead. Sometimes the skills bug out on this, so you just have to unplug, replug. Voila, the skills are back. So you can see Master Devotion, you get 300 stats. You get the 300 stats, and it takes it away from the pet. You get 28 more crit power, which is really nice. Sometimes you get a few extra skills here from Gold Pet. I forget which one it is for the Astaroth, which is a crystal golem, what bonus skills he gets compared besides the Master Devotion and Unity. So that's gold pets for you. Death Gladiator is pretty much the same as normal Death Gladiator, except it also gets the Master Devotion and Unity. So if you roll that one, you can use it just for that, because you're not really going to be using it for damage. Pets don't do much damage if you're not on a pet class. They're mostly just Unity slaves, so have one main Unity slave and then the Death Gladiator. You do need Master Devotion on the armor or Monarch Spiritual Awakening. Both work for Master Devotion skill. So sometimes you'll see me put these on the auction house for sale. I will put Master Devotion or Monarch Spiritual Awakening just so people can get it. You'll get a Fury Pet Ring. And then these are the artifacts you can also get from Goldspin. I didn't get any for these rolls, but you would roll them with the Festes Power Artifact. It's this one. So you would use this on your... I'll just show it. Let me just get one. Do I have one that's empty? Okay. And it's basically just like a BPOC. You would just go to your enchant, drag it, and hope you get Master Devotion. You didn't. So you would go get your Book of Seven Seals, reset it, and then you would try again. That's artifacts, gold pets. This can take you probably like 20 to 30 tries, sometimes more to get it. These are primarily out of BOA, Treasury, and Vulcanus, but usually BOA you'll get a lot of them. So you'll be at BOA a lot just farming books and such. So just make sure you don't NPC these. You will need them eventually. In this section we will be going over the Vulcanus items. So this is where you would get them. Weapons. Click on the weapon you want. Make sure you have 75 lava drops, 75 typhoon crystals. They look like this. Typhoon crystal is the green one. Lava drop is this one. It is 75 for the two hand, 75 for the one hand. So you are essentially paying for two if you do the one hand and Mage Wall. But they are stronger. Armor is 35, so you're essentially paying 140 for a whole armor set. Lava Wings are 100 advanced feathers, 500 lava drop, 500 typhoon crystals, 1,000 physical shards, lava magical shard, lava defensive shards. Those you get from the lava box. Magical shards are the rare ones. That's like a 1 in 5 drop from the boxes. Expect to have to get about 5,500 lava boxes before you get enough for wings. So, yeah. And then to get the feathers, you would just go to VMAX Exchange, 20 feather, and it costs 100 lava drops, 100 typhoon crystals, so 500. And there you go. That is how you get the lava wings and lava deco. Been asked to do this specific section. So there is 2 sets of gear like I showed in the gold spin section. There is the dragon gear, and then there is the guardian gear. Let's go equip. So the main difference between dragon and guardian is guardian has the damage reduction as the set bonus. So if we go to the helmet, you'll see reduction of damage received. It's a dramatic difference. This is why I recommend it for Treasury. You'll get 50 crit power if you have a complete Guardian set compared to Dragon set. That's the only stat benefit. This may be buffed a little bit, but don't expect it to be dramatically increased. Just, the 50 crit is there, so we'll see with that. But that is the main difference between the Dragon set, which is mostly a cast speed, attack speed set bonus, and the Guardian set.